Hey everyone, it's Audrey and Katie. Welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to be talking about body image and self-love. We're going to share a little bit of our personal experiences, and then we're also going to talk about what society tells us about our bodies, what Jesus says about it all, and then we're going to talk about how to fight against hating yourself and hating your body.
Okay, so my story starts in middle school. I would say I started struggling with body image at a really young age. I was in dance, and I think that fueled it, just being in a leotard and tights all the time and everything being super focused on how I looked. And I developed anorexia and bulimia when I was a freshman in high school. I think it stemmed from just really wanting to be accepted and not feeling like I had much to offer, and so feeling like people will like me if I'm skinny and I'm pretty, but they won't like me for like who I actually am. It all started then, and the sad thing about it is that it sort of worked. Like, I lost a lot of weight and all of a sudden I was being noticed by guys, and that made me feel better about myself. So I struggled with that on and off for, I would say, 9 years. It was a really long struggle where I was just so focused on my body and what I looked like and how thin I was. And now I'm thankful that I don't struggle with disordered eating, but I still fight to feel proud of my body and accept myself the way that I am.
My story is definitely a lot different than my sister's because I grew up just seeing her really suffer from her eating disorder, and I've had a lot of friends throughout my life that have dealt with eating disorders and self-hate, and so that really just determined me early on that I was going to fight to love myself and to fight for my friends and my family to love themselves too. So it's just become something I'm really passionate about, is women embracing their bodies. And I definitely still struggle with self-hate at times and comparing myself to others. But more than anything, I'm just angry that so many women look at themselves and don't see the beauty that's really there.
So society has so much to say about women and their bodies and how we should feel about ourselves. And honestly, the ideal body in society is so unrealistic and so perfect. And society makes your appearance so much more important than it actually is. It determines if you're going to be accepted or liked by your friends. And society tells us that we really shouldn't love ourselves unless we are that perfect.
Eva's here to join the party. She can't stay away from us. Okay, so another thing we've been thinking about is how society seems to know that women are supposed to be beautiful because Jesus made us that way. But it's been so skewed, and so we're constantly left wondering, am I beautiful enough? Do I fit the standard? Do I live up to the beauty that I'm supposed to be?
Right, because society makes us feel like we have to be perfect, but what actually is perfect, and when will we be perfect enough? I don't think we can ever realistically reach that standard, and so it kind of like constantly makes us feel inadequate. And there's tons of companies that are making so much money off of making us feel inadequate because they sell us products thinking you'll feel better if you buy this, when in reality we can accept ourselves just as we are right now.
Yeah, and another thing I've become super passionate about is the freshman 15 because I feel like that's such a society-made, like, I don't know, phrase. And the truth is like, yes, a lot of people do stop taking care of themselves when they go to college, but also that's when women are becoming women. Like, when you turn 20, your hips are opening and you start gaining weight so that you can make a baby one day. So it's not, I mean, my body changed so much in college, and I was so discouraged because I was used to how I looked in high school. And then I realized, I feel like God just really opened my eyes to the fact that, like, I was becoming a woman. So, like, I was supposed to be getting bigger.
Okay, so in light of everything that society says about beauty, does God say that beauty just doesn't matter? Like, does he just write the whole thing off? We don't think so. We think that God really cares about beauty and is actually the one that gave us beauty in the beginning, like Audrey was saying earlier. Aud's going to read a Bible verse that we heard from an amazing woman out of Bethel. Her name's Abby Stumval.
Okay, so Ezekiel 16 verses 13 through 14 says, "Thus you were adorned with gold and silver, and your clothing was of fine linen and silk and embroidered cloth. You ate fine flour and honey and oil. You grew exceedingly beautiful and advanced to royalty. And your renown went forth among the nations because of your beauty, for it was perfect through the splendor that I bestowed on you, declares the Lord.
Okay, so in that passage, we hear that God is who perfects our beauty. So even when we are imperfect, he is the one that tops off our beauty. He makes it perfect.
Okay, so in Matthew 6:21, Jesus says, "For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." So something we've been thinking about is that we really have to ask ourselves, where is our treasure? Is it in our physical appearance, or is it in Jesus and who he made us to be? So I'd really encourage you to sit down and ask, do you want your treasure to be in your physical appearance? Because that's where your heart's going to be. And if that's what you're spending most of your time thinking about, that's where your heart is. But if you're spending most of your time thinking about who God made you to be, what you love about yourself, your heart's going to be in a place with Jesus.
Yeah. Okay, so now let's talk about how to fight this thing.
This is how I fight my battles!
Did you forget that I literally just put Eva down?
I'm sorry. Okay, so something that we really are passionate about is the power of our words.
Yeah.
We know that when we curse ourselves, so when you say things like I'm ugly, or I hate myself, or I wish I was prettier, you're actually speaking the spirit of death into yourself. And so you start to feel those things and believe those things, and you actually start to become those things. But when you're speaking love over yourself and focusing on the things that you love about yourself, you start to manifest love.
Yeah.
And a way that we like to do that is by making identity statements. And so what we want to do is first sit down with the one who loves every single thing about us, which is Jesus, and ask him what he says about us. Mm-hmm. And so we say, Lord, like, what do you want to tell me about myself? Like, I'm not seeing what you see, because we know that he sees beauty. And I can guarantee that he'll speak, and he will say what he loves about you. And we just write those things down. And I have an identity statement right next to my mirror, so when I get ready in the morning, I try to read it and just remind myself of things like, I am a faithful friend, and I radiate beauty, I radiate love, things like that. And then that's what I become. And it makes such a big difference. Your words are powerful, and what you speak over yourself is gonna change your life.
And something else that I've really been learning by this woman, her name's Krista Black Gifford, she talks about the effort that you start something in, you're going to have to maintain. And so if you go on this journey towards health and changing your body, starting from a place of self-hatred and striving, then you'll have to continue to hate yourself, and you'll have to continue to strive to maintain that change. And so what we would encourage you to do, and what we've been really challenging ourselves to do, is begin out of a place of love and wanting to take care of ourselves, rather than starting out of a place of comparison and self-hatred and feeling like we're not enough.
Okay, so something you're gonna have to cut out if you want to start loving yourself is comparison. So whatever that looks like for you, whether that's comparing yourself to photographed models that have been photoshopped, or if it's just your friends that you're comparing yourself to, you have to cut it out. And we do too.
Social media is so toxic and fuels comparison so badly.
Yeah. And so, you know, something that we've had to do at times is just delete our Instagram for a week and ask the Lord to just talk to us about our beauty that week, and hope that we can get to a place where we are able to look at our friends and say, I love your beauty, and look at ourselves and say, I love my beauty, but not be comparing it. As far as celebrities that have been professionally photographed, I think that it's just best if you're struggling with this, just to not look at it.
Yeah.
Because it's fake, and it's just fake.
Yeah, totally. So when you're battling comparison and comparing yourself to other people, I think one of the really important things is to focus on the things that you love about yourself, rather than the things that you dislike about yourself. So for me, I really like the color of my eyes. I have light blue eyes, but I'm really struggling with my baby belly right now. And so I think when I get in front of the mirror, I'm trying to focus on my eyes. I really like my eyes, rather than going straight to, oh my gosh, Katie, your belly is so bad. It looks really discussing right now, focusing on, wow, Katie, you have really pretty eyes.
Yeah, you do. Thanks. And as for the things that you don't love about yourself yet, something that Katie's mentor taught her a while ago, years ago, and she taught me was to put lotion on those parts of your bodies when you get out of the shower. And as you're rubbing lotion on those parts of your body, praying over them and thanking the Lord for them and trying to think about the ways that they're such good things. So for me, it's usually my thighs, and I try to think about, like, Lord, thank you so much for my legs, because they allow me to be a backpack guide and they allow me to be a first grade teacher.
So for me, finding the good in the things that I dislike about myself right now is my belly. And so instead of looking at my belly, like I said earlier, and disliking it and cursing it, thanking my belly for making room for two and growing my precious baby.
Just speaking those things and thanking Jesus for them will help you find a whole new love for those parts of your body.
Lastly, we want to talk about goal setting. Instead of having a goal weight or a goal size, try to make a goal on how you want to feel. So feeling energetic and feeling strong. So one of the things that we are talking a lot about are what are goals that will make us feel really proud of our body and strong in our body. So whether that's being able to do a pull-up or run a triathlon or do the splits, whatever it is, finding something that you can be really proud of and focus on and take care of yourself in.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, so we're in this with you. We are totally still in process with this and learning to love our bodies. And so if you have any tips or questions, please comment below.
Yeah, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe below.
We love you guys.